Peace, Inner Stereo. Glad you caught it. Peace, Andres. Doing well. How you doing today? Peace, Nandi. We're just gonna give a couple minutes. Let's see if okay, we at least have a minimum. We got 6 people on here. Let's see if we'll give it a couple of minutes. Maybe we'll get maybe we'll get 10 folk to start with. Give people a couple of seconds to get their notifications. If you don't have them on, turn on your notifications. Peace, y'all. Turn on your notifications so you'll know when the drop is coming, and hit that good old subscribe button. Peace, Tony. I'm glad you caught it. Oh wow. Thank you, Inner Stereo. I am that's an honor and that's humbling. Sincerely. Peace, croissant. Did I say peace, Tony? Okay. Peace, Malad. Said watching from Iran. Wow. Peace, Poetic. Okay. Y'all checking in. All right. We got 20. All right. Let's build. Once again, peace to everybody. For those who don't know, Jamal Robinson with 720astrology.com. It is currently 2:45 Central Standard Time. Just in case you hear something that really sparks you and you need to cast a chart for this conversation, we'll have that notated. Am I Sigma? I don't know what you mean, like the fraternity. No, I'm not in any fraternities. So using timing techniques, astrological timing techniques to combat depression. Um, Diddy asking for a friend. Oh yeah. Look, we got the mentally challenged have joined in. Look at the name, Lucky. What a lucky soul to have incarnated. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry whatever you're going through. My mother sent me a picture this morning and it had me kind of shook. She said she was worried to go outside because this guy had been laying on, they got like a little pond outside of her apartment, and they got like a little, I guess a little park bench there by the pond. And she said this guy has been just lying on this bench and has not moved all morning. She was scared to go out and walk the dog. Then she told me later that they heard a gunshot last night. They're thinking this man might have taken his life. And the dude, they just, nobody's come, no crime scene or nothing. I think they called 911 and they may have come, but nobody came back to follow up. Like the craziest things are happening right now in the world. The world is bugging. And so, and my mom, I don't know why she had to take the picture and send me the picture. And the way this guy is just, his arms are just hanging. You can just see there's no resistance to gravity. His limbs are just, he's completely limp on this bench. And but what's crazy, and they have not come to no paramedics, no, just been there. At least at the time I talked to her this morning. And it made me think about some other conversations I've had with some um, important people in my journey about the consideration of taking one's life. This is a I would fathom, I would like to think that all my conversations are serious, but this one is, I think, is of even more importance, because somebody may be in that space right now. What is depression? You know, to be depressed means to feel like something is pressing down, down, press, compacting, and it pulls us inwardly, and um, in a world that is, we're so externally driven. We have to show a certain image to the world. We have to be a certain way. We have to respond a certain way. Everything is so external. Even the way most of our religious practices are taught or presented, it's all external. You know, do this, do that. If you don't do this, you're going this. You know, and so what it happens is the internal can have this huge void. And so then when you're pushed into this void because of the external pressure of life, it can be just too overwhelming, because we're not um, trained in this reality how to go in here, because we're trained that it doesn't matter, that it is lacking and everything is out here. So and I think Layla Africa may have said something about this years ago, about somebody brought it up in our class. I think it was, yeah, one of the, I'm not gonna say her name, but I remember who it was. She said that he would say, and I'm probably gonna mess it up. It makes you recognize something that you need to see. That depression, you know. And when you think about the word pressing down, you know, we tend to think down as evil and up as good. Earlier this morning, I talked about the root chakra, Mars, and how Mars, and then if we are to add to that, we'll say that Mars and Pluto share rulership of the sign that is associated with that area, Scorpio. And Scorpio deals with things that are hidden, things that we don't want to acknowledge. Scorpio, the eighth house, subconscious, and it's the, can be, we can say it's the aspect of the subconscious where we store experienced trauma, as in trauma that comes after we have developed a sense of identity. And so the depression is now, sometimes we are meeting something that has been pushed down, and we're having to go down into the basement and sit with it. And sometimes through the 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 winds of fate. And remember, astrology arguably is a dance between fate and will. It is your fate. Fate would have it that you were born on this day with these particular alignments. Your will is how you choose to respond and utilize those particular aspects that formed at the time you took your first breath. And so fate would have it that at particular times you're going to come to certain points in life where you're met with certain obstacles, certain challenges that were pre-encoded into your existence for you to meet at this particular time, for you to be tested and to have the opportunity to advance in your journey. I don't know if that young man actually took his life. We don't know where he might have come to in his particular journey where that test was coming up. And then that test served as a trigger to things that may have gone on previously in his life. And he got pressed down into that energy, and it was too much. It was too overwhelming. And it just seemed like whatever at that moment is the ultimate reality. There is no change. All I know is chaos. Therefore, I have no other option but to try to delete myself from the simulation. Maybe that was what was going on. Maybe that's what goes on with those who have other people who have done that. There is a personal trainer back in the day when I was doing it. This was like almost 20 years ago. And he started before I did. And he was a trainer at 24-hour fitness, and I remember seeing him. That's back when, you know, it was really it was considered to be, you had to be really good back then. It was very competitive, and I remember seeing those guys, and I had just got to Texas, and I was working to get in shape, and I was like, dang, I'd like to do that one day. But this dude, it turns out he was living a double life. He had either a wife or girlfriend. He had a baby, but this dude was bisexual, and he had a thing going with this other guy. This dude took himself out, the trainer, and I mean point blank range in the face. And so he was not trying to play around. It wasn't a cry for attention. He wanted to go. And I remember seeing the dude, his eyes just always looked like he had checked out. He just was not. And I'm assuming that maybe because of the sexual thing, that might have been part of it, but I don't know what else he might have been abused or molested as a child, which led him in, who knows. I'm assuming that had something to do with it, because it's like he had this double life and everybody knew it. But the in your face, that means I hate what I see in the mirror. I want this image that I see every day that I have to live with, I want it erased. That's some heavy shit. That's some heavy shit. And there's a lot of heavy energy in the air, right? Just, it's so many. It's like my videos might be contradictory because there's hope and there's despair at the same time. And it's kind of like, which timeline are you on? And I try to give personal examples to show that sometimes we're in a transitional well, we're always in a transitional phase. This whole reality is about transition. But sometimes we're not able to recognize the beckoning call of the particular phase of transition that we're in. And we're not able to see where the light of day might be. And all we can just see is the darkness. And it just made me wonder about that, if that's where he was. So my point of saying how astrological timing can help combat depression, and I want to say this, there's 1,000,001 timing techniques in astrology. When I do these videos, it is not to try to exhaust all astrological knowledge. Because what can happen is you can have so much knowledge and not be able to do shit with it. The point is, whatever you know, if all you know is your sun, rising, and moon, learn how to at least start working with that. Because you can have a ton of information, but how are you able to apply it? Okay, so this is not an attempt to be exhaustive. I'm only going to give you one timing technique, and it is not to suggest that it is the end all be all. And that timing technique is the solar return. Because the soul as in sun, is the center of our solar system. And the planets in this system are orbiting around that heavenly body. So in this system, it represents vitality. It represents consciousness. It represents the illumination and the expression from the soul. So when we look at the solar return, we're looking at the sun relative to the exact degree that it was at when you took your first breath. And so you are examining your vital force from around the time of one birthday to the next, or one solar return to the next. So your solar return will not always fall on your actual birthday, because it's based on when the sun arrives at the exact degree. It might be the day before, the day of, it might be the day after. And what you do is you're not just looking at the sun, but you start with the sun. And you look at what hemisphere is the sun in, give you indication. Is it in the north? Is it in the south? Is it in the east? Is it in the west? That can give you indication of natural focus for that year. What house is the sun in your solar return? So that means whatever your sun sign is, the house that your sun falls in will give you an indication of a coloring of your sun sign. For example, you might have sun in Virgo. That's where the sun's at right now. But in your solar return chart, your sun may fall in the 4th house. So now you're being colored by a Cancerian energy in this calendar year. So that means your Virgo expression might show up more through the home, through the family, through the idea of growing something. It might even be growing a business. But so your that Virgoing trait of attempting to put things in order, attempting to sift through the details, it can then be colored through the lens of Cancer. So you're understanding where your attention is kind of naturally being focused. That's a more, the northern part of the chart, and the north is down here and the south is up here when you look at the chart. The north means it's more focused on my private life. Okay, so that's one aspect, and you still got all the other everything else you would look at in the chart. The nature of your money house, your work and health and your career, you know, how is your energy coming across, because what sign is rising in this year. But my point to be more, because this is not really about the specifics of a solar return, it is about to use it as a possible template of what? Hope. Hope. Maybe by being able to look and say, okay, it's September, things are out of whack right now, and then you can pull and see, okay, my next solar return, wow, look what I got my sun in a trine to Jupiter, you know, or I got my sun sextile in Venus, or I have Venus and Jupiter sextile, or I have Saturn harmonizing with my sun. Like I got this structure that's coming, and I feel like everything's in chaos, but I can see that there's a light down the. It don't mean that everything just is snap your fingers, but it gives you hope to know, okay, I'm working towards something. People normally come, sometimes, I ain't gonna say all, sometimes people come with the wrong questions for the astrologer. They come asking what's gonna happen to me, which then makes me their deity, because I'm telling you what's your life, instead of asking, how does the weather look? So I'll know when I need to have my umbrella. I'll know when it's cool to wear shorts. Because astrology is a dance between fate and will. The stars don't compel, they impel. They're running through, giving you a chance to determine how you're going to work with the energy that's running through. So you can look and see, okay, I got an opportunity. If I can endure right now. And that word endurance traces back to mean truth. Because the root dur means truth, because it means tree, and the tree is true. So endurance is about abiding by a truth. Some people take themselves out on a lie. You hear me? Some people are scared to do things that they already got gifts around based on a lie. Some people will never pursue their greatness based on a lie. Some people quit and cave in and can't finish it based on a lie. Endurance is asking, what's your truth? Endurance coincides with the Hebrew word emet. That's why emet is such a powerful word. It means truth. You endure because you have a goddamn truth that you're going to abide by. You can't let this fucking external world give you a lie and take that shit on as your truth, which is an oxymoron, because you can't clean up a lie. A lie is a lie. So you must abide by your truth. And there's one single truth, no matter who you are. And that truth is that you are divine substance having a human experience. We just tapping when you're learning thyself, knowing thyself, you are tapping into the divine essence and how it has been broken up into shards and how it is individually expressing through you. So when the person want to take themselves out, there can be a disconnect from the reality that they are actually still the divine. And then they feel like the divine is punishing them, which means that there's the idea of something punishing you means that you are disconnected from it. It can't punish you if you are it. You can only punish yourself. Now, if I can accept that I'm the one punishing me, maybe I'm going to be less apt to take myself out, because now I feel like, wait a minute, I got some fucking power in this. Our reality is a dance between fate and will. Astrology 101. The simple shit will guide you. You ain't got to have every motherfucking detail with this shit. You need to learn the basics, and then you keep expanding. But the basics can give you a lot of power to guide yourself through. The solar return may show you that the year coming up is going to be rough. It ain't always going to show you my solar return as an astrologer. Imagine that shit. 2024 is like, damn. The ruler of the money house is in detriment. Well, shit. But that's fate would have it. But thy will be done. Listen to them shits. Thy will be done. So that means when you have planets in detriment, it means it's like, oh, okay, I got to be creative. I got to figure out another way. I got to tap into something deep, because the shit ain't naturally just falling in place. But guess what? The next solar return looks a lot differently. So it give a motherfucker some hope. And excuse my Moorish Latin, but it feels good. Okay? It give you some hope. Like, damn, it still ain't gonna negate you get up and you're like, damn, the shit of life coming. And it's like, damn, it's frustrating, this and that. But then you can always remember, if I keep working and enduring, remember, endurance, which is associated with Saturn. Saturn wants you to endure, but we go and study the origin of words so that we can get more than just what an astrological book tells us. When we hear endurance, we just think, man, it's just like, I'm running on a treadmill, I'm tired, and it's just like, it can be associated with punishment. But we dive into the etymology of the word to learn that endure really means your truth. So you got to have a truth. And then what astrology can do is give you some modicum of kind of dealing with time. Because in this human reality, time is a construct. We know, but it's a very, it's a construct that feels really real down here in this reality. Because the epitome of time, the time lord itself, Saturn, Kronos, sits at the gate of the gods. So we accept time in this reality as a working construct. But we use our ability to think to become time. I'm gonna go back to the other video the other day. Thinking to become time. We sense to become space. We feel to become energy. We intuit to become motion. And therefore, we don't have to feel as trapped. And then we are reminded when the things of life seem to be bearing down, that the contract, the ultimate contract I took was to become God, generator, operator, destroyer. And not destroyer of myself, but destroyer of things that need to go, so that I can continue to generate. Genesis, creator. Honors to Brother C. Freeman L. That's where that comes from, or where I learned it from. Generator, operator, destroyer. So the solar return is one of the techniques of timing that you can use to see how the sun is going to be shining. Because when people choose to erase themselves, it ain't got nothing to do with the sun shining. It is because they're in a place where they feel like there's no light. They can't see it. They can't see it. And because they cannot see the light, they feel like light no longer exists. Okay? So when we're looking at that solar return, it gives us the a focal point. It recalibrates our eyes. And like I said, it might show you that some difficulties are coming. But remember, you know, yeah, I can take this off. I ain't about to. It can remind us. That light does exist, and that even though I may see some potential difficulties coming up, you know, I'm looking at the year. Time is fleeting. And it just might be showing you, hey, I got to apply some more intestinal fortitude, and I need to learn how to adapt. I need to learn how to adapt. So, if this energy is pressing down on you right now, look, make things simple. Don't overcomplicate everything. Make things simple. Be aware of what you have. Remember, we talked about earlier manifestation, making the hands holy. So be aware of what you have in your hands. Just as you are aware of what you feel like you don't have and what you desire, focus on what you have. And sometimes it's necessary to do some comparison. Sometimes you need to look around and see somebody else's reality. And see how what you think is just the worst thing in the world, you see somebody like, damn, this mug ain't even got running water, or they, you know, and then it helps you remember what you have. Then it puts the onus on you, like, damn, am I really working with everything I got in my hands? Because that's part of me getting to this place where I see the sun is shining differently, is I got to work with what I got right now. I got to keep working with what I got. Chop wood, carry water. Chop wood, carry water. Chop, I'm gonna put that shit in a song. Chop wood, carry water. Chop wood, carry water. Simple. Simple. And it does not mean that your consciousness is just stuck at chopping wood, carry water. Oh, I see where I'm going, but I know to get there, I got to chop wood, carry water. Chop wood, carry water. That's gonna wrap it up. Let's see. Let's see. What y'all got? Pisces, Virgo, attracted depression. I hate bots. Oh yeah, well they ain't here. You know, God bless them, and I do mean bless them in the true sense of the word. Uh, I bless all of you who bring energy that is contrary to what we have gathered here for. I bless you. I bless you. Yes, I bless you. If you are a so-called sentient being, or if you are behind a bot that is here, if you had any role in coding that, I bless you abundantly, endlessly. I bless you. And to the rest of you who have come sincerely to eat of this food, I bless you. I bless you. I send you favor. I send favor to you and everybody that you're connected with, everybody you love. I send you favor. And you other motherfuckers, bless you endlessly. So mote it be, motherfucker. I learned a long time ago that I can write somebody in a script and out with my words, which is why I try to be careful. But fuck around. Mercury trine Jupiter. Yeah, when you know how to use your power. If you want to tap more into your power, holla at me. 720astrology.com. If you want a solar return reading or any other transit reading, holla at me. 720astrology.com. I got shit coming. I have magical things I've created for you to wear on your person. Yeah. I create talismans. I don't even know if you're supposed to pluralize that word with the S. But either way. So things are coming, and it's timely, especially with our transition of Neptune into Aries. You know, beautiful times. So until next time, know the stars to know yourself. I wish you well, love and light. Peace.